At approximately 1:15 this afternoon, a trooper assigned to the Massachusetts State Police Gang Unit was conducting surveillance as part of an ongoing drug investigation in this neighborhood, the Pine Road neighborhood in this town. As a result of that surveillance, the trooper attempted to stop a silver Nissan Maxima with a lone male occupant. The Maxima refused to stop for the trooper, leading the trooper on a brief pursuit up Pine Road to the end of the road, which ends in a cul-de-sac. At that cul-de-sac, the trooper exited his vehicle and repeatedly commanded the driver of the suspect vehicle to exit his own vehicle. The suspect ignored repeated commands to exit his vehicle. At one point during that confrontation, the suspect drove toward the trooper, putting the trooper in fear for his own life. The trooper discharged his service weapon. As a result of that discharge, the suspect was struck and killed. He is pronounced deceased at the scene by emergency medical services. The investigation into this incident is very active, is ongoing. It is being led by the Middlesex District Attorney with the assistance of the Massachusetts State Police, various detective units, crime scene services, ballistics, canine units, chemists, and other state police personnel. At this point, we have not formally identified the suspect. The trooper involved was taken to Leominster Hospital for evaluation. He has been released, and interviews with the trooper and witnesses will continue over the next several days. Any questions?
The trooper fired at the suspect. Did the suspect fire at the trooper at all?
The preliminary indication is that the only discharge was from the trooper. The suspect was in his vehicle. The preliminary investigation suggests that the trooper was put in fear for his life by the suspect's actions in the vehicle driving toward him.
What were those
actions?
actions?
The suspect was coming at him, Dave. It was coming.
That is the preliminary investigation. Suggests that the suspect was coming at the trooper. We are still in the process of interviewing witnesses and canvassing the neighborhood for witnesses.
How far away was the suspect when the trooper fired?
Still under investigation.
So the suspect was driving at the trooper when the trooper fired at the suspect?
That is the preliminary information that we have.
How many shots fired?
I'd rather not say at this point. That's still an investigation.
Is this suspect known to police, or is he from...
We are still trying to confirm his identity. We have some leads on his identity. He's an adult male. We're not saying any hometown or any other identifying factors at this point, but we're still trying to identify him. Needless to say, no notifications to his next of kin have been made.
Is he from this state, though?
Don't know that.
Was the trooper working alone? Did he have a partner?
The trooper was alone in this location. There were other gang unit troopers in the area, but not on this street at the time of the shooting.
What is the approximate age of the suspect? Teens, 20s?
I'd say roughly 30s, but it's still, that's very preliminary.
And what do you believe what do you suspect that this individual could have been doing?
He was engaged, the trooper was engaged in a drug investigation. The suspect engaged in activities that the trooper observed as part of that investigation that caused him to want to stop the vehicle.
Can you elaborate more on that?
I cannot.
So you followed him from wherever the area he had under surveillance?
Which was close by. He followed him, attempted to stop him from that point of the surveillance. The suspect refused to stop. A brief pursuit ensued up Pine Road and ended in the cul-de-sac at the end of the road.
David, any other questions? Could I ask?
When was the last time something like this has happened in Ashby?
I do not.
Could I ask you to we had troubles at the very beginning, sort of to set the scene,
Sure.
just run through how
Sure,
it started and how it ended.
Sure. At approximately 1:15 p.m., a trooper assigned to the Massachusetts State Police Gang Unit was conducting surveillance as part of an ongoing drug investigation. As a result of that surveillance, the trooper attempted to stop a silver Nissan Maxima with a lone male occupant. The suspect vehicle refused to stop and fled from the trooper up Pine Road all the way to a cul-de-sac at the end of the road. The trooper pursued him to that point, exited his cruiser, and attempted to get the suspect to exit his own vehicle. The suspect refused to exit his vehicle and ignored repeated commands by the trooper to do so. At one point during that confrontation, evidence suggests the suspect drove toward the trooper, putting him in fear for his life. That resulted in the discharge by the trooper of his service weapon. As a result of that discharge, the suspect was struck and killed.
The trooper say anything about how he felt about his someone coming at him? He say he was obviously afraid, or
I don't want to
okay.
in any way categorize what the trooper's feelings or what he's being said. He's still there's many interviews to be done still, and still a lot of
The trooper
investigation.
had pulled over the suspect's car, right, and it stopped. And the trooper's out of the car. Did the suspect ever get out of the car?
No.
And then, so he took off, turned
And
around, and
I
came
don't
back.
know if I characterize it as the trooper pulling over the car, because that, I think, would imply that the suspect was at some point submitting to the police stop. We have no indication that he did so. Every indication is that the suspect was continuing his attempts to flee when this incident culminated with the shooting.
So it's not clear that the suspect.
Then at the end of the cul-de-sac, essentially, is that fair to say?
And,
I think it's fair to say that his progress was blocked at the cul-de-sac.